I am telling the Love You to Lifers what you just did. I am telling them what you did. Y'all see, when you watch this on YouTube, my mouth is open and it was not staged. This was my true reaction to what this girl just did. We normally start the podcast with a prayer because we really want the podcast to be a blessing to everybody that listens to it. So I said, Lord, this topic is a touchy one for us. So please don't let us just, like you be involved in this conversation. Don't let us show up because I'm the sweet sister. She's the spicy one. I didn't want this to get too spicy. So I prayed that. And when I got done praying, do you know what she said? She said she had her fingers crossed, y'all.
I didn't cross them until she got to the part about the flesh. I was good with the rest. Listen, don't say what I want to say. I'm going to do what I want to do because I'm grown.
I cannot. Y'all, welcome to the Love You Life podcast. I mean, for those of you who know us, y'all know exactly what is happening here. If this is your first time here, welcome. Welcome. We are two biological sisters who started this podcast, I don't know how long ago, and we just come on here and share the life lessons that we have accumulated. We share our struggles, we share our triumphs, we share that in these podcast walls. And let me tell you something, her right there, she's a little spicy. She's a little spicy. But
it's okay to our big sister because she always listens to the episodes. We might have to have her on an episode at some point. But she probably is like the balance between the two. Probably is like the middle ground because I'll do some stuff.
Probably. But I'm feeling a little spicy myself regarding this conversation, which is why I was like, Lord, like show up, Father, help us, Lord. As we talk about this, I don't want to be cussing or everything on the podcast airwaves. I don't want to be going off on the podcast airwaves. And so, welcome y'all to another episode of the Love Your Life podcast. I'm Elizabeth White. That's my sister,
Calvalyn.
All right, here's the thing. Y'all, we really could just say, we want to just say up front, we could really go off. We could really rant and rave about this topic, but we want to make sure that we do it some justice. We want to make sure that even though we could absolutely come to blows in these podcast streets right now, we don't want to do it that way. We sincerely want to have an open dialogue about something that keeps showing up in the world, especially for who? Black women. For us. And here's the other thing. I'm going to say it could show up for other women of color, but I don't know. I just know my personal experience. This shows up for sure for Black women. Recently, the head coach of the women's team in South Carolina, Dawn Staley, shout out to Miss Dawn Staley, had a situation after a game where her team was in the Final Four, and she beat a undefeated UConn team. Who had an amazing season. Congratulations for everything that they were able to accomplish this year. So at the end of the game, when she whooped them, beat them down, took them to the woodshed, made it known that it was her turn. It was her year, her and her team's year. She had this situation where the opposing coach, are we calling his name? I don't know that we're going to call his name because
I don't even know if I know his name really. So.
Okay. Here's the thing.
It's a non-factor.
Here's the thing. I was so mad when I saw it. I texted her immediately. It was like, I am mad as HE double hockey stick. I am mad. I sent her a voice note and like, bro, I am hot like fire because she was just a couple seconds left on the game. They met up at center court to shake hands for the end of the game. And he said something to her that sent her, into oblivion. And you could tell that it was hurtful and shocking and troubling for her. And at the press conference, we were expecting calmer heads to prevail, maybe. We were expecting some decorum. Oh, this is a word that some people like to use. We were expecting some class.
And we did not. Professionalism.
and we did not get it. And so in the press conference, it was brushed off, it was minimized, it was reframed like it wasn't a big deal. Someone asked him, did he feel bad about it? He said no. Should he apologize? No, like all those things. And I was triggered. I was triggered. And I had to sit with that for a minute and ask myself some questions about it. And if you are a Black woman listening, you have probably seen this before. Maybe not on the basketball court, but maybe in the boardroom, maybe in the meeting place, maybe
The classroom.
in the classroom. Maybe you have seen this before, but it's just something that we're gonna have to deal with. It is the way in which we are what's the word, Cal? What's the word you would use right here?
Disrespected.
That's a good one. That's a good one. The way we are disrespected, the way they try it. The way they
Mhm.
try it. Like, I feel like last night when he walked up on her, he tried it, right? He tried that. He tried that. It's like, are you going to at all the wins and losses of this man's stellar career as a coach, you mean to tell me that you walked up on a man like that? You trying to
Ooh.
I
It was
don't believe
giving bully behavior. It was really giving bully behavior, and that's really what the part that pushed me over the edge, right? Because if it's one thing you know that I just really don't tolerate,
it's
I
the
don't
bull.
tolerate people being cruel or harsh or rude or intentionally harmful to
Mhm,
other people who really don't have any intention to do that, right? Like there's some people we can go word for word. We can match energy. And there's
mm,
other people who really move through the world with
mhm,
no intention to do anyone harm.
mm.
And they actually go above and beyond
To
to try
avoid
not to. And I
yes,
think that Dawn is one of those type of people. And
I
so
agree.
it just was given bully behavior. And
Mm,
then at the press conference, I just felt like if I was there, I grabbed just talk about his collar because it was just
mm.
it was just unnecessary, inappropriate, and I really wanted to call this episode, y'all. I was gonna just say, I don't know about episode. Just leave black people alone. Just leave black women alone and leave us
Leave
alone.
us alone. We're not checking for y'all. Leave us alone. Leave Black women alone. That's what we want to call the episode. So by the time this gets to the podcast airwaves, I don't know if that's what it's going to be or not, but the subtitle, the code is leave us alone. And
Yes,
here's
ma'am.
what I want to say. Like I work with professional athletes and have done so for over a decade. And so I do understand a lot of factors here. I understand the heat of the moment. I
Mhm,
understand losing and how you have to process that. I understand emotional intelligence and whether or not you allow your best self to show up in moments like this. I understand the heat of competition. I also understand this is what I understand. I understand that sometimes you don't know the backstory for something. I
mhm.
understand that you don't, like you may not have all the details, right? But I don't care about any of that right now. Here's
I
what
mean,
I
you
care
know
for.
what? Like my tolerance for the backstory is low right now, right? Like my tolerance for the backstory is low because I think as a nation, we are raw in many, many ways. And so if Black people have to be under a constant microscope, and I'm going to say specifically Black women, I do not believe that this is a singular story, but I'm talking about this particular instance. Black women have systematically for the past year been summarily excised from the
Mhm,
working
mhm,
world by
mhm.
having every single thing about our education, expertise, experience, life, like any of these things,
Questioned.
questioned
Mhm,
time and time again, while completely irrelevant and unqualified people are
mhm,
given a free pass.
mhm.
So I just no longer have tolerance for this idea that it was just a moment or it was just a mistake. I just believe that people are allowing their true colors to show
Mm.
and they are being less.
Oh, thank you, Lord. She caught it. Good. Thank you, Jesus. He helped her. He helped her. He helped her catch that tongue. He helped her catch it. What he catch?
I believe people have dropped the hoods and are standing 10 toes down on their foolishness.
I'm not taking no issue with it. Here's the other thing, like, the other part about it is the conversation that we will not have is about how well do people even know themselves. Like, I think sometimes people are not even aware of what really is in them until a moment like this. That does not
Right.
excuse it, but I do think that they sometimes really don't know. And so while we are using this as an example, we are not only talking about this moment and we are not even really talking about this coach because I don't know him personally and you don't
Right.
either. But we're talking about this what? Pattern.
Mhm.
It's a pattern that we are experiencing in the country right now and have probably always experienced, but
Right.
at greater lengths right now as Black women. I think the questioning, the over explaining that we have to do, the
Mm.
overqualified nature that we have to bring to these conversations to still be minimized and to still be, um, in some ways, here's a strong word, but I'm gonna use it.
Ooh, good word.
Terror I'm gonna use terrorized, and I'm gonna
Mm.
traumatized.
Mhm.
I'm traumatized. And here's why. When I look back over using this as this example, when I look over what happened yesterday, the turn in Miss Staley's, because I don't know her, in Miss Staley's body language, I
Right.
was just hurt. I was
Right.
just because here's her moment where she's at the pinnacle of her coaching career, where, they're going back to the championship game. They've just now beat a undefeated UConn team, which you cannot take anything from them regarding that. And and in her moment, here comes something to steal her moment,
Mm.
to steal
The
her
devil. The
to
devil.
and that is one of the things that I think we do have to interweave into this conversation for our sisters, which is like, sisters, do not let these kinds of distractions steal your joy. And we
Right.
probably could give them some, as we keep talking about it, we can be talking about in the ways in which they can avoid that. But we are highly competent and still
Right.
questioned, highly accomplished and still minimized. And guess what? We can't even laugh. 'Cause that's what they
Mm. My
did to
God, my
Vice
God.
President Harris. We can't even laugh.
My God, my God.
Go ahead, Cal. We labeled as
I scheduled a post on my social media. It'll be out by the time this episode is out. I scheduled a post today and it was like, y'all's president just got on national TV and said that we don't have money to pay for health care
Now, why you say y'all's
or
president?
daycare, but we got money for war. And if I'm not mistaken, Pop said this 30 some odd years ago. They got money for guns and wars, but they ain't
Mhm,
got the money for the babies, right?
mhm.
Y'all voted for this because y'all couldn't stand Kamala's laugh.
Laugh. To be very clear, they didn't like her laugh. And what that Rosie Perez said, Miss Perez, I don't know her. She said, "It's just something. It's just something. It's just something."
It's the devil. It's just the devil all up and through you.
My goodness gracious.
But here's the thing. If
Yeah,
you are a woman, a Black woman, and you
yeah.
are highly competent, highly accomplished, maybe somebody has labeled you as doing the most or being too much or being unprofessional, any of those types of things. If
Mhm,
you have heard, said, internalized that you have to be twice as good to get half as much,
mm.
this episode's for you.
Okay. Because guess what? They can label it DEI if they want to, but we need to just go ahead and change what the acronym even means. Because guess what? We are not people who have underachieved. We are the most educated people in the room, and it doesn't matter what they think about it. The facts prevail. The truth is going to always be that. You can
Period.
question it if you want to, but the truth is going to always be the truth.
But here's the deeper question, right? Because
Oh,
let me play
she's
sweet for a minute.
adjusting her
I'm gonna play
clothes.
I'm gonna play the role for me.
If you're not watching this on YouTube, she adjusting her clothes, which means just put your own seat.
The deeper question isn't why they do this, right? Because we don't control other people. The
Correct.
deeper question is why do we put ourselves in position to receive it and
Hmm.
tolerate it, normalize it, and justify it
Hmm.
and pass it down through the generations? right? Like, that was one of the things that I have paid attention to. I think you probably had a little bit of this kinda like, it wasn't specifically named this, but as you were having Sunny Grace, you kinda thought about, like, what you want her experience of womanhood to be,
Mhm.
and being very intentional that we didn't pass along this narrative that this is just what you gotta do as a woman.
Period. Period.
So I think we have to take ownership of what we can do to right the wrong. No, we cannot change what people think, feel, or believe about us, but what we tolerate, that piece,
Right.
that's on us.
Which I did enjoy. I was really proud of Miss Staley, with how she handled it, because during the press conference, after she's had time to go, I think she went back to the locker room, and then the press conference was that by that time, she said, "Let him answer for himself." That's
Ooh.
She said, "You would need to ask him." Something along those lines. I saw that part where she said, he would need to answer that. He would need to tell you." Right? And I think that that's really what we have to get to, is that we stop, even we can share our story, we can say our truth, and we can share the details as we experienced it, right? But that doesn't mean I have to now tell you what he was thinking and why he was thinking it and why he would behave the way that he did. Who Anyone, we're using for this example, but why anyone will behave the way they did, I don't have to explain that to you. Go ask
Which is
them.
such a good point. It's such a good point. And while you were saying that, what popped into my mind is not the same scenario, but I don't know if you paid attention. So Brandy recently came out and said that I guess she's got a book coming out, maybe.
Okay.
And she said that when her and was it Wanye from Boys to Men were dating when she was a kid,
Mhm. Mhm.
I didn't realize this at the time because in my mind they were similar age. She was only like 15, 16 years old and he was 22.
I didn't know. I really don't even know that I knew that they went together. I don't know.
I don't know that I knew it was like, it's like a rumor, but I don't know that I had
And
like
you
because
said
this
they
was
went
pre
together?
pre TikTok, pre TM
Right,
like probably pre TMZ really.
right. And can you say they went together if she was a minor and he was an adult? Like, I don't even know. Like, I don't wanna touch it. I don't know.
Right. But my point is there somebody has pulled up
Mm. What the clip
of
say?
a clip of him being interviewed on The Breakfast Club.
Saying what? What did he say?
I'm just gonna give you a couple sound bites, but it speaks to this point of why are we giving opportunity to people who don't appreciate us, right? First of all, he
Right.
said she was old enough to get it. His exact words. But they asked him something about like the breakdown of the
No.
relationship, and he said, people think what they think. If somebody no longer loves you, then you have to see why that is. Kind of like very flippant, you know. And totally tangent sidebar. If somebody got 5 kids and none of them talk to them, you got to kind of know something about that person.
Okay now. Okay now. Okay now. Because
What?
if Okay now, I've been around
You got 5 kids and don't none of them talk to you?
okay now. Because I got too many people that I know love their daddy. I see some good daddies out here now. I know how we are about these daddies now. And if your kids ain't talking to you, I got a question about you. I don't want to be by you, honestly.
But it's just this trend, right? And so I think for me, what that kind of speaks to is it's not just with them. Sometimes it's us not
Yeah,
treating us right either.
right.
And we have to set the stage. Like, I don't know like, truth, lies, whatever. I don't know. You can't change somebody's age. You know that part for sure, right?
Exactly. Right.
But whatever happened and how it happened is not for me to decide. But I
Mhm.
think the way in which you hold people and respect people, I just kind of that's just something that I feel like is missing.
Mhm.
And as a woman, I have made a very intentional effort in this season of my life to make sure I am only going places where I am held, where
Right.
I am loved or supported or respected. And you know what I'll do. I will drive out of a neighborhood out to get back to my zone. I'm going back to Zionsville. I'm not doing nothing over here. I'm if Listen, you're not gonna get jazzy with me. You're not
Mm.
gonna be rude to me. You're not
Mm.
gonna be snappy with me. I will
Mm.
go back to the neighborhood where I'm going to be treated well.
Mhm.
because I'm not taking that into my body. And for me, it really is that serious. Like, I really do think about it. And I think so many Black women, when we look at like the lineage, the story of the big mamas, right? Everybody was tolerating so much, not realizing some of these autoimmune diseases are because we have been internalizing that hatred that other people are dishing at us.
Mhm. It's
So
true.
I'm not going to bathe in that toxicity. I'm going
Mhm.
to go over here where they treat me nice.
Right. And so right there, I do want to go ahead and just bring this up for a second here about the mind body connection. Like guys, when you're listening to this, sisters, when you're listening to this conversation, and we're talking about when she mentioned autoimmune responses, that is not a lie. That is a
Okay.
fact. Like every
Mhm.
single thought in your brain produces a chemical. And so you have to ask yourself what kind of chemicals are produced on thoughts that are hurtful and negative. And when you are bathed in, submerged in feelings of inadequacy or challenge or it's like a fight all the time. Like when you're always
Yes.
in that fight energy.
Hypervigilance.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. You have to be asking like what kind of chemicals are being produced in my body when I'm experiencing that day after day after day after day. I was even talking to someone this week, and it was a male, but I had to say to him, like, "Are you serious that you're gonna continue to tolerate this experience at this place of employment?" Like, I understand, I'm not telling nobody to go quit their job tomorrow or nothing like that, but I am saying you might need to consider making your exit strategy. You might need to consider, that this is not a place that you can stay because we don't have to choose that fight. You do not have to choose that fight. You don't have to be at that place. Are we to believe that in this world that has how many people on it, this planet, that there's nowhere else you could go and be accepted, acknowledged, reverenced, welcomed, right? Like when I said that, I just got that Antoine Fisher picture of when Antoine Fisher met his family. He said he always had that dream in the movie. Did you see the movie Antoine Fisher?
Never seen
Oh, you never seen Antoine Fisher? Cal, I will take your black card.
You ain't never seen New Jack City?
I have seen it. I've seen it. I don't remember it.
Man, you just saw last year because you didn't see it before.
I know there's a person named Pookie in it. Okay, one thing y'all should know.
Okay, so pause, sidebar. Which one of us black cards gotta be removed? Drop it in the comments. She's talking about me not seeing Antoine Fisher, but she
What
just saw New Jack City last year.
Cal, I've
So which
seen it.
one of us loses our black card? Go ahead, drop it
I
in the
saw
comments.
First of all, I saw it a long time ago, but
It
it
was
wasn't
a long time ago.
probably wasn't when it came out. And y'all don't know this
It was
about
a
us, but
decade after.
we couldn't even go to the movies. We grew up as kids, we couldn't go to the movies. So,
You
like
well, some of us was better at sneaking than others.
Oh, correct. And but the thing that's so funny now is that our mom is watching all the movies now. She
All of
watches
them.
all the movies when she never let us go to the movies. But anyway, there's a scene in Antoine Fisher where he talks about because he's a child who's grown up in foster care and was abandoned, things like that. And he has this dream all the time where he sees like this big table, this spread of food, and there's like these excited, happy people there. And so the way that they merge that in the movie is that that's how it looked when he met his true biological family. And so I just was
Right.
saying, like, there is a place where we are welcomed and warmed and wanted. There are some people that want to be around us. There are people that want to be at our table. There are people that want to set a table for us.
Right.
Right? And so to assume that we have to continue to fight because we think we're losing if we don't, I just take issue with it because life is too short and the joy that you need to actually get through life, like the joy that you need to have the strength for just what life calls for can really be diminished when you are perpetually day after day after day after day after
Mm.
day for years in situations where you are being mistreated, overlooked, questioned, challenged, minimized. We don't have to do it.
We don't.
We don't have to do
And because we have to make sure that we are taking a proactive approach
Yep.
towards the quality of the life we want to live. We want to give you just a couple of steps, right? So
Mhm.
if you are recognizing, you know what, I have been carrying a lot more. I am feeling more tension in my neck when I walk in the door at work. I am coming home with a headache every day. I
Mhm.
am starting to experience, stomach issues or sleep disruptions or whatever thing, I am willing to start making some changes. Here are some things that we really want you to start to think about as you move towards this. I'm no longer being tolerated. I'm going to go where I am celebrated. Here's what we want you to think. First and foremost, we want you to audit the environments that you're in.
Mhm.
And this is a hard one, so I want you to pay attention to this, okay? You're not auditing for potential. You're auditing for the experience.
Right.
You're not basing it on what you've invested so far. I've been here for 15 years. I'm gonna say something you would normally say.
What?
You you've been with that dude for 10 or 15 years, but you still ain't married and you wanna be. That's 10 years you done already spent. Don't give that sucker another 10.
Let me tell you
Okay?
something. It's like this, 10 years in a day is too long. If you done did 10, why am I gonna do 10 in a day? No, no. No, no, no. Won't do it. Won't do
So
it.
you gotta get honest about that thing. What about this environment? Is it working for me? Is it not working for me? And sometimes what you'll find when you audit that is you never said nothing. You let that stuff slide. And maybe the first step really is for you to say, this is what I would like for this to look like. And if that's received, great. Now you can stay. If it's not, okay, now you have that information. But the tiptoeing, the walking
Mm,
on the eggshells because you're afraid to find out,
yeah,
it's not helpful. It's not helpful. Learn like you and sometimes and this is a hard one too because maybe you never have been celebrated.
right.
Maybe you grew up in a space where you were just barely acknowledged or where you were kind of tolerated at home. So you went right on ahead and got tolerated at work and got tolerated in your marriage and got, like maybe that's been your story. So maybe you have to really sit with the fact that I don't know what it feels like to be celebrated. And some people, and this is a really common thing, some people are not comfortable being celebrated.
Right.
Right?
Because
You're
it's
not comfortable with it.
yeah, it's foreign, it's new. And I
Right.
think too, I would be curious about which like I would encourage everybody look at your family of origin and kind of think about what the primary love language was in that
Hmm,
environment. Right? Because I think especially for high achieving Black women, we did not receive that verbal affirmation. It was expected, even in our homes, that that's what we do. That's just what we do.
right.
So many of us are probably just thinking, well, I didn't get it there, so I don't get it here either, and I'm used to it. But
Mhm.
the truth of the matter is that we all have been saying we want to change it for the generations after us. And if we tolerate the exact same thing over and over and over, how are we doing that?
Right. So
Right?
you wanna make sure that your kids get new shoes because you never got none. Make sure they get something else too.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Right. And she said it with a smile. That's the thing. When y'all watch this on YouTube, you're gonna see how much she's really truly clowning today. Really truly clowning. And so we want you to also stop over explaining. I think that
Mm.
one, stop over explaining your values, stop over explaining your education. Um, can we go ahead and reference the Cosby show? Can we please do it again?
Can we get through an episode without?
No, let's do it. So, do y'all remember the episode when Claire had to go to the morning show and she was sitting with the men? Ain't that a good one? Yes, I know. That's why it's relevant. That's why it came up here. So there's this episode. We need to find the title of it. So Claire had to go. Claire was invited to like a Sunday morning talk show in the community, right? And there were 3 or 4 men there and they debated these topics. And Claire was well prepared for the conversation. So much so that she could provide references down to the page number of why she was saying what she was saying, and she was right. So she was there, they demeaned her, they belittled her, they acted like she didn't know what she was talking about. When they were proven wrong, they poo-pooed it like whatever. Like you can see that man ran back in his chair, like whatever. And then the ratings were so great for the show. They asked Claire, would she keep coming? Would she be a regular? And do you know what she said? She said no. Yes, Claire. Yes. She said no. Do you know why she said no? Because she said, I don't feel like getting up every Sunday morning at the crack of dawn to come down here and argue with you jokers for what?
Yeah.
For what? If you wanna stay dumb by yourselves. I don't have to bring
Mm.
my intelligence down here. I don't have to come from my bed in my house where I am loved and appreciated, respected, and adored to come down here and fool with you jokers. And she told they butts no.
And that and this is why the Cosby Show is just such good, relevant content so often. Because beneath this was such a deeper conversation, right? Like the
Yep.
deeper conversation is how often do we get pulled into situations where we have given the opportunity more value than we've given ourselves, where
Mhm.
we've given the space more value than we've given ourselves. And
Mhm.
so she was like, no.
No.
Because when we come to an environment, we
Right.
know what we bring. We are
Right.
elevating every single space. We are the blueprint. So when we're coming and we're elevating the space, why would I mean, and maybe you have, and in some of these instances, like financially, one space might look more valuable, right? Like there might be a monetary value that is different, but I know what I bring. Every
Mm,
time I step in the door, it's gonna
mm,
get better. So why would I give you something that you clearly don't value? And I just think of the number of people who would have made that choice. Be like, well, it's such a good opportunity.
I'm gonna be on the TV. I's gonna be on the TV. You gonna be on the TV and you gonna come home every Sunday with a stiff neck and a headache. Your stomach hurting.
Right. Mad at your kids, too tired to be with your husband.
Exactly. And then questioning yourself because you can't keep putting yourself in that situation and think that it does not challenge your identity. It does
Right.
challenge your identity,
Right.
right? Because the more you are proving, the more you are explaining, the more you're saying to the soul of you that you have to explain because you
Right.
keep doing it. So it
Right.
will ultimately do that, and we don't want you to experience that. So, the thing about it is, like, I think so many of us, um, don't even we aren't really we don't even pay attention to our own resumes. Like,
Yeah.
we have done so many things, and when somebody does finally question us that we wanna deal with, we feel like we need to read them for filth, and I'm not saying if you wanna read them, go ahead and read them, but I don't want you to be in a state of having to keep reading them, right? If you feel like you need to do that once or twice with somebody, okay, but, like, over and over and over again, you just in a situation where that is what you have to do consistently? No, don't do it. Don't do it.
And really what she's talking about is kind of the last point we wanted to make is reallocate your energy.
Period, poo.
What you feed will grow. So if
Mhm.
you're spending all of your time feeding people who are diminishing your value, you're gonna have more opportunities to have to do that. That's the way that the energy of the world works, right? Like that is how it works. The more you give energy to it, the more you're gonna notice it, the more it's gonna be present in your life. So if you are spending your energy trying to
Mm.
win people over,
Mm.
trying to be seen, trying to convince them, right?
Mhm.
You are not giving your energy to the people who want it,
Correct.
who value it, who are looking for it. So
Mhm.
while you're fighting, and this is sisters, I'm gonna do it like this.
Yes, yes, sisters, yes, yes.
When you've had to fight, fight becomes your set point.
Mhm.
It becomes your natural place that you just slide into. And I'm speaking to you because I'm speaking to me. I know that my set point is try it if you want to. Right? So sometimes I have to check myself, be like, this doesn't deserve your energy. You can't go there. You just can't go there. So if you know that your particular trauma response is fight and not flight, sometimes you gotta learn how to flight, right? If
Correct.
your particular trauma response is fawn, people pleasing, right? You got to make sure that you are reallocating that energy. And part of this is really paying attention to how it feels in your body. Like, how does
You
it feel when you're in a person's, like, there's sometimes we'll be in a person's energy and we'll be like, just, like, oh
Mhm.
my. And my
Yeah.
kids will laugh at this point, right? They'll be like, you said it. And I'll be like, yeah. I don't make my kids like you. I don't say you can't be friends with them. I'm just like, I don't like her. And I there's it's a Justin Bieber song, I think. And my kids, that song came out, they're like, "That's you." But
What?
So the song is like, "My mama don't like you and she likes everyone," but I was like, "I'm the first part, not the second part." Because my kids, like, the friends that they have that I'm like, "Oh, yeah, they're cool. They're cool." Like, this is my each one of my kids had, like, a good friend or 2 that is, like, they solid on my books. And they
Right.
would have some other, like, little hangers on, and I'm like, they're not gonna last."
Mhm. Mhm.
So pay attention to what you feel in your body when you're around places and when your gut instinct might be to go a step further to try to convince somebody, decide where that energy is better invested.
And I wanna go ahead, I'm gonna add this in, and we didn't talk about this, so I'm curious about your take on this, Cal, what you think about it. Excuse me. But one of the things that I also encourage people to do, because here's the thing, y'all, when we are talking about being in an environment and leaving that environment, I know many of you like, Liz, I gotta pay my mortgage. Liz, I got a kid in college. Liz, I'm sending my big mama money every month. I understand that, Liz, gas is $4 a gallon. I understand the concern that many of us are gonna have, especially knowing how many Black women have been laid off this year
Right.
alone, right? With like, "Are you telling me to leave my job? Are you telling me to go do something else?" And some people are really going to tune off because you think that's what we're saying. And while that is definitely a part of it, can be a part of it, here's what you can do before you decide you wanna leave or not. When she's saying reallocate your energy, one of the ways that I encourage people to do that is to surrender. It is to stop
Hmm.
the So here's what you can do in the workplace. And let's say you have a supervisor that you know is not qualified to be above you, but they want you to check in with them because they want to keep acting like you can't do the job well. I would encourage you to go ahead and check in. If they
Mm.
want if they want you to run every single thing past them, run it past them and surrender to that process. And here's the thing, you don't have to internalize the fact that they want you to ask. All you're doing is doing the role that you are supposed to do as an employee. So go ahead and
Right.
surrender to that moment. Now, if you can do that with the click with like without being mad about it, like without it having to shift your energy, then you get to decide if that's a place that you can go ahead and stay. Because
Right.
when you surrender, guess what? They gonna get tired of having the chickity check, 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 and the check, 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 and the check, check, check. They gonna get tired because many times people are asking for something they don't even want because they're on a power trip. And so if
Mhm.
you're trying to figure out, can you stay? Can you figure it out? Can you make your exit strategy? How do you do that? Surrender. I'm not gonna tell you how good I am. I don't have to keep coming back telling you I'm qualified for this. I don't have to tell you I was here when you was in your mama's womb. I don't have to tell you none of it. You want me to come and check with you? You want me to come and let you know everything? You want me to call you while you on vacation so I can ask you a stupid question? Oh, I will. I'll call you while you in Hawaii and ask you a stupid question if that's
Yeah.
what you want. Because guess what? When you come back, I would have done exactly what you wanted me to do, and I've just surrendered to the process, and I can do it with an open heart and clean hands. If you can do that and run your paycheck onto the bank without internalizing anything negative about yourself, run with it. Thoughts, Cal?
Well, that would definitely be challenging. No. Honestly think that I really do honestly think I've done that before. So it wasn't a job that I hated by any stretch of the imagination. It was just a job where I was like, the I strongly felt like the supervisor was, I'm not gonna say jealous. Jealous is not the word, but I'm gonna say she felt threatened by me, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're in a position where you have a certain level of skill and expertise, even if you just kinda come in chill, it's on you. You can't do anything with it. It's just I just bring it in the room with me. And so I felt
Mhm.
like she was a little bit threatened, in that environment. And so it wasn't anything super harsh or anything like that, but I really did in that moment, I was just like, "Oh, this is just what we do. It's fine." You know? And
Okay.
I was not, that was a particular role where I wasn't particularly, like, I was kind of almost like, I would have called it disconnected. Like, I'm just kind of like, it is what it is. But it really was probably an act of surrender, honestly. And I think what you're saying is about the posture of how you approach certain things, is how you position yourself in a situation. And so if you can do that, like, and again, that's something completely within your control, right? How
Right.
you approach a situation, how you view the situation, how you decide to show up to a situation, how much energy you will give a situation. Like, do not sit there and
What? Where are you
don't,
going?
if you write the email 7 times and put it through Chat GPT, like, just make it, "Yes, here you go." You know what I'm saying? Like, don't don't give it that much more energy. And so if you can get to that place, then you're not internalizing and the harm is not happening to you. Because bottom line for the whole part of this conversation, this is the summary of the whole thing. We want you to live life well. We want you
Right.
to love your life. We want you to live a long and abundant life. And this is one of those things that I think really does hinder us in particular, causing us to either have a shortened lifespan or have a lifespan that doesn't have the abundance that it could. So spend your
Right.
time where you are celebrated, not diminished.
Right.
And the rest of y'all can leave us alone.
She just really want that. She just want y'all to leave us alone. She want that to be the title so bad. She want that to be the title so bad. But what they say, don't come for me unless I call for you. Is that what they said?
And I didn't call.
I did, and I'm not calling you. I'm not calling you. Matter of fact, I got you blocked, so I didn't call.
My God, my God.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. So listen, we are so happy that y'all joined us for another episode of the Love You to Life podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, we want you to like and subscribe and share and comment. Make sure you're following us on all our social media. I'm at Loving Life with Liz, and she is at Calvalyn Day. And we'll be back. You can watch us on the off weeks on YouTube if you want to see our faces. And if you are subscribed, you can catch us on Apple, Spotify, and is there another one?
Amazon.
And Amazon. All right. Guess what? We in Love You to Life land. We love y'all.
And you are always celebrated here.
Every single time, sis. Every single time. Bye.
We see you next time.